Police say the mother of four was last seen outside her home late Sunday night, fighting with her 53-year-old husband, Brad. A neighbor says later he heard screams in the woods nearby.
They said that he had been arrested the day before.
That report coming in from KSAT in San Antonio, Texas, where Brad Simpson has now been arrested on multiple charges of violent assault causing bodily injury and unlawful restraint. This after neighbors heard suspicious sounds coming from their home the night before he reported his own wife, Suzanne, missing. The search for Suzanne continues, and friends and relatives and neighbors held a prayer vigil for her. Reporter John Paul Barajas with KSAT has the story.
Family, friends, and strangers gather to pray for Suzanne Clark Simpson. She was last seen last Sunday. At this time for loved ones, leaning on their faith seems like the only thing they can do.
I just don't understand. I don't understand why it happened. It wasn't part of their life.
Suzanne's mom, Barbara Clark, says she spoke to her daughter 1 hour before she was last seen.
She called me up and told me the things that Brad had done to her physically. Well, I came up with an alternative plan for her in the hope that she'd move in with me. I never got to tell her the plan.
Clark explained Suzanne told her her husband Brad had hurt her arm and back around 9 p.m. According to an arrest affidavit, around 10 or 11 p.m., a neighbor then saw the Simpsons fighting outside their almost park home and later heard screams from the wooded area nearby.
Do you think that Brad's responsible for her disappearance?
Angela, thank you.
I agree with that. I would like to visit with him and ask him why. What happened?
Clark adds the family's doing the best they can, but she is worried about Suzanne's 4 children.
That's hard to know exactly how they're doing.
And even as everyone tries to remain positive, Clark fears her daughter is no longer alive.
I don't think she is, because I have not heard from her.
Is there anything you say to Suzanne right now if she could hear you?
Suzanne, we love you. We need you. And we pray for you.
Thanks to KSAT for that report. Think Tank still with us. Al Wunsch III, Darnell Crosland, and Jennifer Brandt. Jennifer, he's not yet charged with murder. He's charged with unlawful restraint because of what those neighbors overheard of injury that causes bodily injury or assault that causes bodily injury. Do you think that there's a reason that they are waiting to charge with murder?
Maybe just to gather up some more evidence. I mean, she hasn't been found. Maybe they hope that they will find her. So I think maybe a little more time is needed just to sort of put together everything that they do have before they can level those charges against him. They want to be right. So I think it makes sense to just see if there's anything else that comes up, especially finding her. I think that is the most critical part of all of this.
Absolutely. Of course, wanting to keep hope, but Al, listening to the mother when she was asked if her son-in-law had anything to do with this, it's almost like she couldn't bring herself to say the word. She just said, I can agree with that, instead of just, yes, I think he did it. Can they move forward in terms of the prosecution if the worst happens and they don't find a body?
Well, I think the valuable lesson we learned on this whole thing is that if anyone lives near me and you hear screams in the woods, call the police immediately. Okay? I mean, you know, why wouldn't have someone called the police at that instance? The neighbor had such detail as to what argument was going on and didn't think to maybe pick up the phone and call 911. Didn't think to say, you know, I hear screams after a big fight. There might be something wrong here, folks. So neighbors of mine, please make sure you call the police first and go from there. But do they have enough now? No, they don't have enough now. And I think it's a smart move to keep him on ice the way they have it, and to see what evidence they can find and what they can start doing, and hopefully they'll find her phone, and then maybe things will start to turn around a little bit.
Yeah.
But they got him on enough to keep him out of commission for a while, and I think that's a smart move.
Yeah, Darnell, he doesn't have bond. So what do you think is happening with his defense? He's no doubt either been given a lawyer, he likely has a lawyer that he's called. What's happening now from the defense side while this search continues?
Unlike Al, I disagree with the keeping people on ice. I'm a very strong component of the constitutional rights that we have. And unlawful restraint, someone has to prove up that he restrained her unlawfully, restricted her movement, etc. the neighbors hearing screamings or whatever they heard cannot prove that up. And to have him with no bond, which I've seen these in my cases, because they suspect that he has something to do with the death, is not good enough for me. I think that the most they could have proved up was a breach of peace or some type of disorderly conduct because of the sounds or whatever. Now, in terms of the murder case, I agree that they should not bring that case now. If they brought that case now, they'd have to have a judge swear on an affidavit with the judge. And based on what they have now, all they have is a person that's missing, that has history of arguing. So that affidavit wouldn't fly. And lastly, if they did take it out now, here in Connecticut, you can file a speedy trial and you have to be brought to trial within 30 days. And if you're not, then the defense files a motion for dismissal and it must be granted unless there's some circumstance. So if they brought it now before they had evidence, the speedy time runs and they could lose the whole case. And she gets no justice at that point.
Now, I want to add some facts, Darnell, to the analysis you just gave. The mother, we understand, provided police with this almost words beyond the grave, where, not the grave, I shouldn't say that, but the words from someone who is not there, and the mother believing that something has happened to her daughter. But she said on the day that her daughter went missing, or within those days surrounding it, her daughter for the first time admitted to those family and friends that there were problems in the marriage that involved physical abuse. Jennifer Brandt, we see this in these cases, but this is family and friends after the fact, after she's missing. They believe he had something to do with it. Is it enough?
I don't think it's enough for murder, no, but I think it's enough if they bring further charges against him, and ultimately if they do find her or do find a body. I think some of this is very important evidence that she was, telling family and friends that he was hurting her, that she was injured. She came up with a plan with her mother. I mean, it's so sad that she, seeing the mother there saying that she never got to have her daughter enact that plan and be able to move in with her. So certainly there were things going on in this relationship. And if she told her mother, we can only imagine that maybe she told some others as well, close friends, maybe even the children. I don't know their ages, but there might have been other people that knew about this, and certainly the neighbors, for whatever it's worth, they did hear these screams. So all of this put together is definitely pointing at him. It's just a question of, what will ultimately be the charges.
This is a case in East Almost, Texas, near San Antonio. This is where the search is going. So if anyone has seen, Suzanne has information. They're, of course, asked to contact the authorities. Our thanks to the think tank for being with us this Monday evening. That's all the time we have for tonight, but we always appreciate your expertise, and we know we're going to see you real soon. Next, when we come back, we're going to reveal something else you need to know, plus coming up in the next hour. Tonight on Vinnie Politan Investigates, Melody Ferris reacts to the testimony of her own children as she stands trial for the murder of their father. What can we learn from her reactions in the courtroom?
Join Court TV's Vinnie Politan with the latest and breaking true crime stories.
Now, let's look at the other side of all of that.
Vinnie Politan Investigates, coming up next, only on Court TV.
Sarah Boone is charged with second-degree murder after her boyfriend suffocated inside of a suitcase.
Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
I thought he was okay.
The Suitcase Murder Trial. Live coverage weekdays, 8, 7 Central on Court TV.
Welcome back. We have reached the point in the show where we reveal something else you need to know. Tonight, jury selection began in two huge cases we've been following closely here at Court TV. And first, the Delphi murders case, where Richard Allen is accused of killing 2 teen girls. This was in the woods of Indiana back in 2017. The deaths of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. It went unsolved for 5 years until a man who worked in a local CVS photo shop, the worker, Richard Allen, he was arrested and charged with double homicide. And so far, 12 jurors and 2 alternates have been seated. 2 or 3 more jurors are going to be selected in the morning, and then opening statements will start on Friday. We're also in Florida, where the highly anticipated suitcase murder trial for Sarah Boone, where she's accused of killing her boyfriend, George Torres, after zipping him up in a suitcase. Jury selection began today. Sarah Boone's trial had been delayed more than a few times, and it was delayed last week for Hurricane Milton. Now it's finally going forward. So far, 23 jurors have been qualified in the first pool, but they still have a long way to go. The goal is to get 50 qualified, and then both sides can use their strikes to end out on that jury of 12. They are working towards opening statements being on Wednesday, so we'll bring you updates on jury selection in both of these cases as they come in. And before we go tonight, there's a picture that we want to show you. Here it is. This is 16-year-old Lanaya Beck. Lanaya was last seen on October 2nd in Katy, Texas. If you know anything about where Lanaya is tonight, you are asked to call the Harris County Sheriff's Office in Texas. That number is 713-221-6000. Or you can always call 1-800-THE-LOST. Let's see if we can get Lanaya to a safe place tonight. Don't go anywhere. We do have another hour of live true crime coming up next on Vinnie Politan Investigates.